What's up, everybody? This is the Growing Up Italian podcast, and I have Nick Smerigilo with me. Did I say that right?
Got it. Sounds good to me.
AKA Nicky Smigs. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Not much.
How's Chicago treating you?
Chicago's good. I just moved to Edison Park. It's a neighborhood in the Northwest Side. I was living downtown.
There's a lot of Italians there, I think, right? Because I've been there.
Side. Yeah, Northwest Side. Elmwood Park is kind of the old school area. Now it's, Northwest Side still a lot of Italians, but Edison Park, closest suburb, Norridge, Harwood Heights, there's a lot of Italians too. So I'm living with a buddy who's not Italian. He just he's renting out a place. So he's Polish, but
yeah. I mean, we got a lot of where I'm from. It's either Italian or Polish.
At Chicago. Not now, but there's more Polish in Chicago than Warsaw. I know that's a.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of Polish people in Chicago. I remember that.
But
yeah, how is that living with someone that that's not Italian? Like, does it take some getting used to? Like,
it's a good
you
question.
guys are gonna make meals together, and he takes out the Prego. Like, you're gonna smack him?
You saw that bit. Yeah, he's got Prego in his Lazy Susan. So that was a nice rude awakening as to what was the differences in the cuisine. But no, I met him through my cousin who's Italian. So he kind of knew the little cultural things that we are into, what the differences would be. I will say I brought my espresso machine here. And he's done with American coffee, so he's used to.
You got to take the Polish. I don't know if they know coffee that much,
Yeah, he's kind of like the typical American. Not that it's a Polish thing at all, but big thermos, 20 ounces in the car, and I got to get it over with.
From all the Polish people I know, though, they all love coffee because they all get coffee, milk, no sugar. Like that's their thing, no sugar.
Yeah, he's black coffee.
I guess it's.
He's not off the boat, but I think both his parents are Polish and Polish American. So, there's definitely cultural differences. Even though I was born here, Chicago's super diverse area. So there's
what part of Italy is your family from? Do you know?
My father's Calabrese. My mother is Sicilian, Napolitan, and Abruzzese.
Okay. So you're a mutt. You're like, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, mostly Southern, like most descendants of immigrants, I think. But yeah, my mom's mom is Abruzzese. Okay. So how about you?
We're from below Napoli.
Okay.
But from everybody that works on this page is from Campania. So it's like the country of Italy.
Region. Yeah.
So we our hometown has 2,000 people.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's old school.
So my whole life, I've been to Italy almost every single summer except 2 or 3 summers. So I go a lot. And I was always going to the hometown. So now more recently, since I've been going, I try to always go to a different city,
Oh, yeah. No, you have to.
So I've been to Milan. I've been to Rome.
Nice, man. I've been to, I did a semester in Rome. Went to the Italian school, Luis. I don't know if you know Luis Roma. And we
How
did
was that experience?
It was awesome. We did a weekend in Positano, Sorrento.
Yeah, that's what you got to do while you're there.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You have to see it. And it's a touristy thing. It was a bus, mostly Americans, which is, a broad experience. But closest I got to Naples was Vesuvio, Pompeii. So when I hear south of Naples, I think Pompeii because it's just off.
I've been to Pompeii too. It's crazy over there.
It's nuts. Yeah.
It's dope. I've been to Pompeii. I've been to Capri. I've been to Amalfi. I've been to Positano. But Pompeii is crazy that it's still there. I've been to that town where Padre Pio is too. I forget what it's called.
Padre Pio.
Yeah, he because his body's still in a church in there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's a crazy tourist attraction. And before he went there, it was the poorest city in southern Italy.
Yeah, it's
that's an experience too.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was it though, studying Rome? Because Rome is by far one of my favorite cities. I go every time I go to Italy, I stay at Rome a day.
Yeah, you got it. Most people I think that study there will say, or at least tour there, will tell you that you can spend 6 months in Rome and not see the whole city because there's so much going on. But
a taxi driver said that to me. It was like my last couple of hours there.
Yeah.
Well, I gave him like 200 euros, and I'm like, just drive me around for 6 hours and give me a car tour.
Right.
And one of the things he told me was like, you could be in Rome for 40 years and still not know everything.
Yeah. Especially the layers, they've built above it over the years. Now they get trouble. I don't know if you've been recently. I was there 2 summers ago. No, last summer. 2 summers ago. And they're trying to build a third metro line, third subway line. They got A and B.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Trying to do C, and they keep running into shit that's just been buried over the years, like historical artifacts.
Yeah.
So they got to dig around it, and you had the labor, facet in there, and it's just going to be a project probably for another 50 years. So
it's funny that you went to school in Rome because I've been on a big Rome kick.
Yeah.
For the last 2 nights, I've been watching these like YouTube Rome history things.
Yeah.
So like one of my favorite things about Rome is how the city was discovered. The 2 brothers, Romulus and I don't know how I can't remember this. It's Romulus and Remus. You ever heard their story?
I have not. No.
So it's like 2 sons of a king who the uncle like threw him down the river, and the kids, like a wolf found them, and they were like, the wolf fed them, like they drank milk from the wolf and like lived in the jungle or whatever, the forest for all these years. And then they came back, and the brothers eventually, one killed the other. And then Rome is named after one of the brothers. If you look at the Rome soccer team, the logo's the 2 kids under the wolf.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, I bought a robe when I was there. I don't know why. When I was the apartment I was living in, there was a little AS Roma soccer shop.
Yeah, so if you see that, you'll see the wolf and the 2 kids.
I didn't know that. So, I had towels, that I brought to shower with or whatever. I don't know why I packed fucking towels, but I threw those away and I bought a Rome. So, I know what you're talking about.
If you look it up, you'll see.
That's hilarious.
But what do you do for work now? Like, you just say
I work for Viacom CBS.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Recently, used to be Viacom when I started a year ago, and CBS merger was December. So Viacom's like Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, those networks. I'm in advertising, so sales support. I basically, to sum it up, when you see an ad on TV, there's certain slots that they got to be booked in and locked to, and days they got to run, and content they have to avoid because of restrictions and stuff like that. So I kind of just help out in that regard in the back end to make sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Runs,
How long you been doing that for?
Last March.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a year, more than a year.
Year and a couple months. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. You're a little younger than me.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm 30.
Okay. How long you been doing this, man? I love your page.
Growing up Italian, so I'm sure people that are listening to this heard the story mad times, but my cousin Rocco and sister started it. And then when they started the podcast, I jumped on. So like they were doing like memes and all that for 2 years. And then I jumped on. And I've been on board for like 2 years and change now.
Holy shit. Man.
Like,
well, I saw your, that's awesome. I saw your last podcast. I forget the guy's
the Time Jeopardy one?
No, you sent it to me on Instagram. The guy at the Yankees hat on. Forgive me, I don't know his name. You were talking.
Oh, Ray.
And I think you had the Stats Reality shirt on.
Oh yeah. Someone sent it to me.
What's that?
Someone sent it to me for free.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I have he sent me this one too, actually.
Oh my God.
There's a landscaping company.
That's funny, man.
I feel like every time I do a podcast, I try to wear a different shirt on brand,
Graphic tees, man.
People make fun, like this kid always wears the same shirt. Does he not have any other shirts,
You're talking about you?
Yeah, like,
I mean, you're hosting a podcast.
That's why. You can be like, what, you wear the same shirt every day?
I like it. Look like Joe Rogan. He's got a muscle tee on every time.
Unfortunately, the muscle tees don't agree with me, So what's life like in Chicago, man? Like, you like it?
Yeah, I love it. grew up in the northwest suburbs. My dad's from here, actually, from northwest side. He grew up a couple miles south of where I'm at now. But I love it, man. Big Cubs fan, big Bears fan. Definitely.
I see the Cubs. I see the Cubs hat. I was just gonna ask.
Couple hats, Cubbies and Bears. So definitely a big sports town. You know, the hype around the Bulls was big. Finally, some hype around the Bulls because we've sucked since. I guess Derrick Rose had the MVP year, but obviously since Jordan. But it was nice to have, you know, the last dance kind of.
Yeah, that was dope.
The Bulls again, so that was awesome. But
I was actually a Bulls fan before I was a Knicks fan.
Is that right? Why?
Yeah, because of Jordan, man. I was a big Jordan fan, man. And then like in '99, when the Knicks went to the finals against the Spurs, is kind of when like I became a Knicks fan. But like till I was 9, I was a big Bulls fan. Like my bed set was Bulls, everything was Bulls. You know,
I'm jealous. I think I'm like a year or two too young. The only time I remember Michael Jordan is him in a fucking Washington Wizards jersey.
That was fun too, though. Even though he wasn't the same player,
yeah,
like, I enjoyed those couple of years because it was like 2 years he played.
Yeah. It sounds 02, 03. I think he retired in 03.
Yeah, and he was like he still had it, you know.
Dude, I wish I remembered. I don't. I remember Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire a little bit more than Jordan.
That was exciting too. Like when they were both like crushing it.
Yeah.
Back on Jordan though, real quick. When I watched The Last Dance, like. I haven't been excited about anything like that since like Game of Thrones. I think like I got to the TV at that time to watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Like nothing else was happening that night.
It was, I'm happy they did it. I'm definitely curious how ESPN, you know, if it was just a perfect coincidence or it was like, you know, they kind of strung it together early to give people something to watch.
Well, the fact that it was during the quarantine and there was no other sports, like.
Oh yeah,
for it, you know?
It was perfect. But it was either that or Tiger King. So I'll take Last Dance. You know,
I think Jordan had to agree to like let it happen.
Oh, so for sure, yeah. No, I think they
holding
talked about it, but like it was just kind of weird. And then there weren't many commercials, obviously, because advertising was down, and then there were only 3 sponsors. It was Reese's, Facebook, and State Farm. Now my advertising brain is kicking in.
Well,
like
yeah, I watch stuff like that too because.
You know what I mean?
I only like registered State Farm because of the commercials. I was like, wait, how do they know that this is going to happen in 20? And then I saw that they moved their mouths a little bit.
Right. With the Sports Center guys. That was funny. Sure.
Yeah. So like that's good. That's money well spent, you know, because you're in advertising. So you probably know better than me, but to get like the best money, like getting your money's worth is something like that, you know, where such a big platform and then you have something like an old commercial that you make new.
Oh yeah.
State Farm killed it with that.
No, for sure.
Yeah, man. So Chicago, when I was there, I went to a White Sox game, but I definitely want to go again to see the Cubs in Wrigley.
Yeah, man, I miss it. I miss Wrigley. I think that's probably my favorite part about. I mean, everyone knows New York's the same way. You're Jersey though, North Jersey.
No, I'm Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn, but I moved to Queens now.
Okay, so winters suck, you know.
Yeah.
Anywhere, Boston, New York, Chicago. So, just like you guys, and we have a 3-month summer. So, summertime here is what everyone waits for and lives for. Wrigley Field during the summer is my favorite part about Chicago, and no fucking baseball. So it definitely sucks. I miss going to Wrigley, but the Sox are supposed to be good. I'm not a Sox fan, but
they got that young first baseman that was really good.
Not Abreu.
Abreu, right?
Abreu first base, I think so.
Yeah, and they have somebody. They have a nice team though. I remember when they won, like in 05 probably, right?
Yeah, it was 05.
Yeah. I'm a Mets fan.
Okay.
I'm a miserable Mets fan.
So you know what it's like to be the fan of the smaller team.
Yeah, it's definitely the smaller team, but
I think there's a lot more pride around the Sox fans and the Mets. I'm not going to speak for Mets fans, but there's a lot more Yankees fans, so you get a lot more not fake fans, but bandwagon.
Isn't it the same way with the Cubs though? Like they definitely.
For sure.
My
buddies that are Sox fans still give me shit. They think I was just a fan because they started winning 5 years ago. When we're kind of too young to really. Who's going to judge when I was 12?
That's the one thing about the Cubs and the Sox is that the Cubs weren't winning for a long time. So if you're a Cubs fan, like you're a Cubs fan, and you see like so many stories of like these diehard Cubs fans, and then like they had the whole curse thing with the goat.
Oh yeah.
So like, I love that kind of stuff. So that's why I've been meaning to go to Wrigley. I actually went to Fenway once, and it was for Derek Jeter's last game.
Holy shit.
So we went out there, like 8 of us, and me and my friend were only Met fans, and we were just with all our friends that are all Yankee fans.
Yeah.
So I had like a respect shirt with a Met hat, and people were like, "What the hell are you doing here? You have nothing to do with this."
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I love
game at Fenway.
Jeter's last game was at Fenway.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, he got like a BS hit, and then they took him off the field.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was.
They pulled him.
Yeah.
It was like in the 3rd inning or something.
I'm picturing the walk off, and for some reason I have Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, because Mariano's was the best.
Oh yeah, he was like right. He was getting hugged on the.
Red Sox fans were kind of happy to see Jeter go to like finally.
Yeah.
This was a miserable 20 years. But the biggest thing with Chicago and New York right away, besides the sport rivalries we have, is the food rivalries, right?
Oh yeah.
Because Chicago's pretty known for their deep dish pizza.
Sure.
And New York is known for their New York style,
Right.
So what's like the best place to get a deep dish? Do you eat this deep dish or?
I do. I definitely eat thin more than deep dish, but deep dish is like.
It's like a souffle almost.
First of all, you get a box deep dish and it lasts you 3 weeks. So it's, you can't, polish it off with, in a night, but it's, occasionally, every couple of months.
Where do you get your deep dish from? Because I know there was like this place that everybody was talking about.
Yeah, so there's Lou Malnati. The big 3 are like Lou Malnati's, Giordano's, and
Giordano's.
Yeah, Gino's.
That's the one I had.
Do you follow Portnoy, Barstool president?
Yeah.
He did.
I follow him, but not like I don't follow him on my main account. So some stuff I don't see.
Yeah, no, I don't follow him religiously, but he did the review, the deep dish review, and he had Giordano's and Lou's. Like one was an 8.9 and one was an 8.6. Not that that's the Bible, but it's hilarious and reputable to some degree. For me, I think they're 2 different pizzas. And actually, I looked it up before we got on because I knew we were going to talk about this a little bit to double check. And technically, I guess Giordano's is stuffed, and Lou Malnati's is considered deep dish. And the only difference is deep dish is the cheese on the bottom. No, cheese on top, toppings underneath. That's kind of a weird word, toppings underneath. And then Giordano's is cheese below the toppings. So they kind of layer differently, but it's personal preference to everybody that I kind of talk to. But I love them both. It's definitely a huge rivalry. So
besides the deep dish, there's like when I was in Chicago, it's like everybody's like, you gotta try Italian beef. So I'm like, what the hell is Italian beef? Like I've never heard of it, and I'm in the deli business myself. So I'm like,
really? Wow.
What the hell's Italian beef? So like we went to Portillo's, I think it's called.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's my spot, bro. That shit was dope.
You like it?
I thought it was like what people were saying that other places were better. Wait, I think was Portillo's is a franchise, right?
Oh yeah.
There's like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I had 2 different places, and I can't remember which one was which.
You had 2 beef.
Bugged me out.
2 different beefs.
Yeah, I had 2 different ones. One was definitely Portillo's, and I feel like they sell a bunch of other stuff too, right?
Yeah, they do. They're known for their hot dogs.
Exactly. That was.
But people will go to Portillo's for beefs all the time.
That's what I was gonna say next. But the thing that bugged me out about Italian beef was like that they dip the whole bread in the juice. I'm like, this thing is way too soggy for me.
The best part, man.
The first time I got it like that, and the second time I was like, just a little juice. I think there's a way to order it where you just.
There is, yeah. So I would say, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because it says Italian beef, Italian in front of, it's Italian beef instead of Italian pizza. But I think beefs are more of an iconic, like Italian Chicago thing than just deep dish because everybody likes deep dish. That's here. But Yeah, there's a lot of places do them differently. If you were you downtown Chicago when you got Portillo's?
I
You
think
weren't like in
so.
the suburbs. So you either probably had your other beef places,
I feel
Al's,
like that was it. Yeah.
Mr. Beef. What else is in the city? There's a Bona Beef in the city, but their Bona's is more popular in the suburbs. Well,
Next
point I'm
time I
getting,
go, I got to make a plan to like hit more Italian beef spots because I love that shit. Like I'll
yeah,
go to Philly for a Philly cheesesteak, you know?
oh for sure. So yeah, the Italian beef thing, the beef stands that have a couple locations, like Mr. Beef on there's one on Harlem, there's one in Orleans, but for people that are from Chicago, but it's either like wet or dry. You either get
Yeah.
it dipped or it's
Yeah.
not dipped. But places like Bona Beef, they have like a chart you can follow. I think it's dry, dipped, or baptized, where it's like, do you want, how much au jus do you want?
Okay. Yeah. Well, the I'm sure the baptize is definitely not my style.
Yeah.
You just put the whole thing in there and give it 3-4 dunks. You know?
Doesn't really taste like bread after that. I know where you're coming from. You haven't had it before, but
If you are going to eat it like that, I would have to imagine that you got to eat it right on the spot. Like
oh yeah,
you can't Grubhub that.
No, that's a great point. You can't. Kind of like Chipotle. You just don't know how long it's going to take to get there, and by the time it's there, it's like
After it's
cold, and a hot, in a type situation. But
then you're going to turn into being like a surgeon, like trying to throw it in the toaster to make it come alive.
No, yeah, the old school Italian beef stands. Well, they don't even have seating. You just stand, in front of the window because you just.
This one Italian beef place I had, they definitely had a couple of seats in there. Portillo's too had seats, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the bigger ones will definitely have seats, but I'm thinking of like Gene and Jude's hot dogs. I think River Forest. They won, best hot dog in the country. I think a couple of years ago, and no seats. You just stand at the window and shit.
That's what I was going to get into about hot dogs because, I mean, our culture for hot dogs, I think, is a lot different. In New York, you do have like an iconic place to get hot dogs, like Papayas, and then of course the street vendors. But Chicago takes their hot dogs very serious. Like even when I went to a White Sox game, it's like the condiments were like, I think you could cut the onion fresh on the spot.
Yeah.
Like there's like this barrel and you like, turn it.
Yeah.
What's up with hot dogs here? Like, and like you guys put mad toppings, like.
Yeah, I don't really, to be honest, know the history of why it's I think Chicago was just a meat town, to be honest. Union Stockyards, I think, been closed for 50 years, but Chicago was always a meat packing town. Wilson, Wilson Sporting Goods, they're in the leather business now. They make basketballs and.
But they used to do meat.
They used to be meat, so they're the byproduct of the meat packing. They did sporting goods, and that's what they're known for now. But that's one example of a bigger company that used to be in the meat packing business. But yeah, man, the hot dogs, no ketchup.
How do you see? Like that was what I was gonna say because I get ketchup and mustard, or like I'll get the cooked onions in the sauce, the Vidalia onions they're called.
Yeah.
But like, what's your go-to? Like, what's the proper way like to eat a Chicago hot dog? Is it like
the Chicago dog? If you say everything, you're gonna get mustard, relish, onions, tomatoes, sport peppers, and a pickle.
What a disaster!
Onions. Oh yes, onions, peppers, mustard.
You're talking about like pepperoncinis, right? Like the green one.
Yeah, little sport peppers. And it's so good. It's so good.
That's how you get it, like everything.
Yeah, everything. It's not mushy. It's not soft. It's not a crunch to it. I don't know. I think that's just what every place does. So, Chicago style dog, no ketchup.
Now that I'm hungry, we'll
exactly beefs and hot dogs and.
So you've been doing this Sebastian Maniscalco impression along with some others, but to me, I kind of like saw your a video of yours on TikTok, and right away I put in a group chat, and like to my knowledge, I don't know how many people really posted you yet, but I was like, I want to be the first one to like really get on it, and then that's why I reached out and told you I wanted to get the podcast because. I definitely see you going somewhere. So I want to be like one of the first people like to document this part,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So the Sebastian's spot on. Like when we posted that, first of all, the video did amazing. I think we got like 60,000 views.
Shit.
And like a lot of comments in the beginning were saying that you were lip syncing, like you were, doing a voiceover. And, it really looks like you are. That's how close the voice is. But like, I want to know how this all started. Like, did people always tell you, like, you look just like Sebastian Maniscalco, you should, or did you just like kind of just pick up on it? And
that's a good question. I apologize if you hear the dogs barking upstairs, but the first time I saw him saw one of his bits was in Italian club in college, 2014. It was 6 years ago.
Oh wow!
And I saw the Italian wedding bit when he's at Gotham Comedy Club. You've seen the Italian wedding bit where the satin bag with cash and
yeah.
through the black book. Seeing who donated, who gave what,
What?
And since then I was like, this is gold. Like, this is what my family, this is every wedding to us. And since then we've just been huge fans of him. And then we found out that he grew up in the same hometown that I did in Arlington Heights, Illinois.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah, northwest suburbs, same 5 minutes away from where my parents are now, where I grew up. His dad still lives there. Talks about it in his book. But he was always like right up our alley. So we would always, over the years and still today, we'll just kind of quote him and kind of see some things observationally, just like he does, and say it in Savannah, like, what the hell is he doing? Like shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's funny, bro. And I think right now he's probably like one of the most influential people when it comes to like Italian culture now. So like maybe a couple of years ago was Jersey Shore, and then before that was Sopranos. Because like now when I think of like current Italians, I think Sebastian Maniscalco, because like he's major. Like he hosted what did he host recently?
VMAs, right?
Yeah, VMA. So
last summer, yeah.
So that was like major. And I just saw him recently at MSG. He sold out 4 shows in 2 days, back to back.
You got to see one at the Garden?
Yeah, and I was front row. I paid top dollar. I was front row.
Shit, man.
The one thing.
How was that? I've never seen a comedian in an arena before, let alone Sebastian.
Yeah, he was awesome. The only thing, I watched like his 2 Netflix specials, like right before the show, and it was like a lot of it was the Netflix special. So I kind of wish that like he like held off the special a little bit, and then or like came with a new show. But other than that, he was hilarious. And the one thing I will say is that a lot of people must have like got that vibe, because when he was performing his new jokes, like new material, everybody was cracking up, and there was like stuff from the special, like it wasn't as strong,
Right. No, I think he kills it every time. I've seen him probably 7 or 8 times. I went to school in Milwaukee. I saw him twice up there. And then I've seen him with my family and friends a good 5 or 6 times in Chicago. So he's, I don't know, what I want to do, whether it's comedy or stand-up.
That was going to be my next question. Like, where are you going from here?
I'd like to be doing stand-up comedy or acting. And point being, Sebastian's kind of been like to be a role model for me, because he, family.
Where you're from?
From where I'm from, Italian, no family members or friends in show business, had to kind of create a name for himself and take the risk. And I like my job. I like who I work with. The industry is super fascinating right now. But,
That's a different monster, though.
Yeah, totally different. I just, my passion is definitely in doing the stuff I do on Instagram, making scenes and creating characters.
Before we actually start recording, you told me he shared one of your videos.
Yeah, he did.
What was it?
About 3 weeks ago, he shared it. He put it on his story. It was before I got a haircut. I had long ass hair. It was about social media. It was Sebastian Maniscalco on social media. I was talking about, I got about 1 million followers. I must get, tens of thousands of notifications from you guys daily. Some of you have the balls to then text me to check the comment that you're going to tag me in. I don't got time for this shit. Like, go back to work. So That was awesome. Yeah, he shared one of them, and he followed me, and commented on a couple other ones.
Oh, he follows you?
Yeah, he followed me.
Oh shit, that's dope.
So
That's big.
yeah,
Bro.
yeah, it was nuts. Here we are, just having some fun, quarantined at home.
That's goals for me. One of my goals is to have Sebastian follow us.
Yeah, I mean, he's yeah, I didn't expect that out of him. He doesn't follow a lot of people on Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't. I was shocked. I thought it was a.
He doesn't really follow any of these like Italian pages either, because there's a lot of us.
Right. So
I always check like who does he follow? Who does he follow? So.
Right. A lot of celebrities, and I think just close family and friends is kind of. So yeah, it's pretty damn cool. And definitely like a self-assuring. Like I think he likes your impression. So
yeah, that's good. I'm sure. You know what? I think that so many people probably were sending it to him that it was just a matter of time that he came across it.
That's a good point because
like if 40 people send it, you're gonna bump into it.
Yeah, you probably hit the nail on the head because the one he commented on and then simultaneously followed me that same night, it was one I had done like 3 weeks prior. And then he shared the one I did about social media a couple of days after. So he was already following me when he shared the one that he did. But to your point, it was like I had tagged him in the one that he commented on, but he wasn't following me at the time. So he probably was getting it sent over those weeks.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah,
I think so too. Because even us, when we posted, I was like, it would be dope if Sebastian saw it on our page, because that would just be like a dope moment.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's the stuff he talks about on his podcast and his book and in his specials are stuff that you guys, talk about. So.
Another thing, like kind of segue what you were saying is like, you're posting probably like what, once a day right now?
Yeah, I'd say the past week it's been like twice a day. But since the Cameo account that I got created, which was pretty sweet. But yeah, I at least once a day, maybe a day off a week.
What I was gonna say was like that's what's so important in like this stage of where you are, like growing your page, is like being consistent. And like if you're recording, you have videos in the stash, like you said, because it's just easier. So that way, if you're busy a couple of days, you have kind of some to like.
Yeah, that's great advice. I'm going to be out of town for the 4th of July. So
yeah, you definitely got to do a 4th of July video. Like, like you got to think ahead and do what's always trendy. And it's only a matter of time till someone like Barstool or something posts. And that's like when you really explode,
Yeah. You definitely hit the nail on the head. It's great advice. I think it's a smart thing to do. You guys posted what 4 or 5 times a day. It seems
we aim for 4, but sometimes it's 3.
Yeah,
sometimes it's a little more. But
that's not. I mean,
that's how you grow followers, though.
I'll take your word for it, man. I mean, I'm gonna have to start doing. What'd you say? Get some videos.
The cameos are good. You could probably use those too.
Yeah, but just to have stuff, done and ready, so I can actually, enjoy a couple of days.
You were doing it a lot on TikTok too, though, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where it, not where it started, but I had made the TikTok page, and then my sister is big on TikTok, just a fan of it. So she's like, link your Instagram. Why not grow the following? So
I think that's where I saw it. I think I saw it on TikTok, or I might have saw a story. I don't remember, but like when I saw it, I was like, yo, this is spot on, So you got something, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. So.
Good luck the rest of the way, for sure.
I appreciate it.
Any advice you need from us, feel free to reach out.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm gonna just cut this video short, and then I'll finish the convo with you. But thank you guys all for tuning in. Give this guy Nicky a follow if you haven't yet. He's hilarious. He does other impressions too, but Sebastian's the one.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.